What up, Marsh Pod? Recording this Wednesday night. Great moment in basketball history last night for those of you that have been living under a rock. The return, or the surpassing of Kareem, obviously. I think this is a great moment. I don't think we need to dwell too much on it. But overall, I think this is a moment that I think we should all appreciate moments like these, because there aren't many left that there are numbers that mean anything in sports, basketball especially. The Curry 3-point record was worth recognizing and appreciating. I think I think it's more possible that somebody gets to 3 points than somebody gets to where LeBron will end up, which is going to be above 40,000. So take a moment and appreciate the fact that we are living in an era that LeBron James, whether you hate him, whether you love him, his off the court lack of drama, but media kind of coverage, all of it aside, as a basketball player, if he's not number one, he's number two all time. Just take a moment and appreciate that. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about some of the coaching changes that have been taking place in SimWorld Hoops at very precarious times, and this is it's this continuation of a trend that I think is kind of concerning to me, because and we talked about it over the early parts of the off season when players were kind of coming and going, and I think this is a two-way street. There needs to be some form, in my opinion, of accountability for these coaches, and I think in many cases the coach leaving really is that accountability, because for those that are inactive with their teams, there's no real need for the organization to keep said player around. But what's concerning is that these coaches are leaving so close to the start of the season. Now, fortunately, both Heartland Zombies, who lost J6, and then Reigning Trays, who lost Coach Everett. Of course, that was replaced with Skinny Washington at Heartland, and then Coach Little, CC Little at Reigning Trays. It's great that they got filled in immediately, and we already seen tonight CC Little makes a cut, and then he signs Xavier Bryant. So these coaches are already making quick moves, which is great. They're hitting the ground running because they frankly have no other choice. But I think the league as a whole has gotten really lucky in these last few signings, where there were people that were willing and able to step in immediately. And that, I think, relying on that to be the case is going to get dangerous, and the margin for error now continues to get smaller and smaller. We are less than a month away from the start of the season, and we're still having coaches come and go. I've talked about this lack of respect that coaches have for players when they cut and sign players seemingly on a whim. I will extend that to saying the lack of respect that these coaches have for their players when they decide to come and go on a whim is incredibly disappointing, because you're not honoring the commitment that the players have provided you when you leave in these manners. Again, I think that a lot of the reason for these departures is a part of the accountability. But you can't be J6 and just say, I'm going to study abroad and depart. I get Keyshawn Everett going to go coach with the University of Washington. I understand that. But it's incredibly disappointing that these players are being put in a situation where they have to, again and again, scramble to find somebody. It happened with Cascadia, where they had to do it right before recruiting. You hope that for both of these teams, Reigning Trays and Heartland Zombies, that Coach Washington and Coach Little are coming in, and they're going to be, and by the way, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, please let me know. Maybe it's Lytle, I guess probably is the appropriate term, so Lytle, Coach Lytle. You hope that they're stepping in and they're going to build a system that works. But if you're a player and you got recruited by J6 because he told you XYZ, or you got recruited by Keyshawn Everett because he told you ABC. Now you just hope that is kind of going to stay in place. It's like getting a new boss at an office. You hope that the standing that you have with the previous boss will be recognized, but there's no reason to believe it will be. So it's all disappointing that it's come together in this type of way. That credit to the league for being able to find coaches so quickly. But it's not as if we're getting brand new coaches that are already on these coaching staffs. These are, for the most part, one-man coaching machines, and that's great. But now you have to do these scrambles, and it's impressive that these organizations have been able to do that. Get these guys in the door, not back in the door, so quickly. So, all told, the league as a whole and these teams individually have avoided the bullet that would have been not having one of these coaching positions filled. But we look at the calendar and it's February 8th, and the league is going to be starting up in 4 weeks. Great radio. We're going to pull up the schedule. I think it's March 6th, 7th. Hold on. Yeah, this is the type of radio you guys are looking out for on a Thursday morning at 7 a.m. But as a whole, the season is on its doorstep, and we're still having coaches that are showing. March 1st is the start of it, with ATLians and Queen City Kings among the triple header at 7 p.m. Bad Boys, Raining Trays, Beasts of East, Gotham 5. Okay. But the fact that it's coming in so late is all just very, to me, concerning. How do you solve it? I don't know. Because you can't mandate a coach to coach, because that's going to lead to potentially bad things in the long run. Just like you can't really force a player to play if that's not what they want to do. But that's some type of responsibility needs to be held accountable for on the coach's side as the individual, because it's a disservice to the organizations, it's a disservice to the players when less than a month from game one, this is the situation we're in. All right, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.